But it seemed that Newcastle's PSR problems were worse in the summer than they had been the previous summer. We had to get rid of Minty, who never played for the first team. We had to get rid of Elliot Anderson. We then did that deal for the goalkeeper, which was bizarre as well. Newcastle were finding a way to keep themselves on the right side of the rules. Mark Gahey, I think, just got overpriced. I don't think it had anything to do with the player. I think the player wanted to come. I think the player's got the same agent as one of our players. I think it might be Anthony Gordon. I think there was definitely an interest in coming to Newcastle United. But I think the Crystal Palace, who, let's face it, whenever we've gone to Crystal Palace since the takeover, their fans certainly don't like. Their fans have certainly made it clear they don't like our ownership by waving banners and flags against. But I don't know whether their ownership likes to do deals with us. Crystal Palace have been quite weird with the votes with the Premier League as well when Newcastle tax has been mentioned, and I just don't think Crystal Palace wanted to do business. And if they did do business with us, I think they wanted to pull our pants down and take as much money as they could. Newcastle couldn't afford Gahey in the summer. I don't know what our situation's going to be. Nobody does this summer. We all hope.
The City case, doesn't it, mate?
Yeah, we all hope and we would imagine that we've got more money to spend this summer, at the very least. And this is a big test now with Paul Mitchell. Obviously, we've both had the same person, at our club who hadn't had really the chance to build, what he did at Brighton, Dan Ashworth. We've now got Paul Mitchell, who's in the same position, who, we would imagine has been out and done his homework and got his work. A lot of rumours that we're after Wolves, Kuna. Mitchell bought him for Leipzig in the past. He's got, again, similar agent, I think, to maybe Bruno Guimaraes, on Newcastle after him. For me, we need to strengthen the whole team if we're going to be going back into Europa or Champions League or Conference if we suddenly go on a bad run. But we need to have a bigger squad. We need to have more squad. We've given contracts to players who a lot of Newcastle fans over the course of the last few months have been saying, oh, well, he'll be going. Fabian Shaw, Kieran Trippier, is he going to stay? Callum Wilson, is he going to stay? We're talking about Jamal Lascelles getting an extension. Dan Burns already got an extension. So Newcastle are already putting their ducks in a row. They're trying to keep a hold of the players that they've got. But I'm not sure we'll have a huge window. I think there'll be a big signing. I'd love to think there'll be two big signings. But when I say big signings, I'm not expecting Newcastle to be going out and spending 100 million on a player. I think there'll be some shrewd signings. They'll concentrate on youth again as well, Melly. They're still trying to build up. Under 21's results over the last 6 or 7 weeks have been phenomenal. And maybe some of these players like young Alfie Harrison from Man City are starting to find their level and find their way. And, there may be one or two gems coming through the academy as well. But I don't think it's going to be as big a window as a lot of fans think. But I do think we'll spend money, but we need to because we've got to have a bigger squad next season. And the players that are getting older, we can't be relying on the 30-something club for much longer because we know the legs are going to go eventually. But yeah, it's a funny situation. I'm delighted we won the trophy when we did. I know I had to spend money to bring players in to keep up originally in Eddie's first season. Yes, we spent a lot of money then, but that's had a knock-on effect with the rest of the windows, and we haven't been able to spend accordingly with PIF's money. So it's still such a tough thing, and until we have the commercial revenue that the likes of Man United, Liverpool, Arsenal have got, Tottenham now with their bigger stadium, we're never going to be able to compete at that same level. We're always going to have to be shrewd and sensible. So it's going to be interesting. But I love the fact that we've done it this way. We haven't been able to go out and spend the money, and we've managed to win, yes, the League Cup. And I'm sure, I've heard what you've had to say about it. I understand your mindset. Why did you celebrate it? We celebrated it because we've never had anything to celebrate, Melly. We've not had anything to celebrate in 55 years. We've had no to celebrate since 69, and that's why we celebrated it, because it was a big deal to us, because we've been the laughing stock for a lot of years.
No, Steve, I think you've picked us up wrong. I understand why you celebrated it, but what I was saying was, would it not have been a bigger statement if you had just went, look, we've won it, the trophy's on show in the trophy room. You're welcome to come on a tour. We'll have free tours for everybody up until the end of end of season between June and July. Come in, everybody's welcome. Come and get your picture took. But we're not having a parade. We're going to save the parade. We're going to save the parade for when we win the Premier League in the next 3 years.
I get it, but that wouldn't be what. That's not what they wanted to do, and they've done it their way. We've done it our way. Man City did it when they won the League Cup in their first few years. It took them 3-4 years before they did it. I think we made the point when you were on the show on Friday. Man United did it when Fergie won the cup. When Mark Robbins got his out of jail, and you won that. You had a big open top bus. You do it, and I'm sure Newcastle will do it again. But it did need to be celebrated, and I think it's galvanised the team. We're dead lucky. We had a couple of weeks off afterwards. Some of the team went to Dubai. Some of the lads were on international duty. Dan Burn had the biggest week of his life, scoring in a cup final, going to play for England, almost scoring for England. But then the lads had that little bit of time to celebrate their success and then get their mindset back on the job. And that's proved to be a good formula for us to get back into the mix with the Premier League, because it could have gone wrong. We could have been back in action the following week. Could have got beat off Brentford, and then it could have been a bit of a downward slump. But we've got the momentum. We're on a good little run,
Steve,
that's all that matters,
Well, we're talking about momentum. We've got a special guest backstage. We'll keep you on. We'll keep you on while we bring him on, because I'm sure you've got a couple of things that you'd like to say as well. Welcome to the stage, Chris Dobey, everybody.
Hey, Chris, lad.
What's happening?
What's happening?
Good to see you, pal. Good to see you. Another Geordie smiling. You see,
the boys.
All right. Get in. Newcastle 4, Man U 1 is his title. Unbelievable. Were you there, Dobey?
I am, mate. I am.
Were you there yesterday?
No, I'm working on that, so unfortunately couldn't make it.
Well, you cannot work. You actually cannot work.
Some people have to work.
What do you reckon of it, mate? What do you think of it? How did you find it? Were you out on the moon? Were you bouncing? Where were you?
I was buzzing. I managed to watch the first 50 minutes, and then obviously took the flight. So I was logged onto the Wi-Fi, getting the connection when obviously it kept popping up every time we scored. So it was
ideal. We've got Steve Rafe in the chat. Steve obviously thinks Newcastle's heading in the right direction. And you haven't gone out and went mental, so to speak, buying players. You've done it on the back of keeping it to a minimum. Why do you think Newcastle are doing so well, Dobey?
I just think we're a team. We've gelled together as a team now. Like you say, we haven't bought anybody daft. We haven't been allowed to spend really. And I think obviously the man management Eddie Howe's done has been absolutely mint and second to none. And him and Tyndall's been class. And so we couldn't ask for a better manager and assistant really.
Aye. I think you've just got this togetherness, club, fan, back room, the whole lot. They seem to be pulling together. They're all pulling up the same page. And like Gary touched on earlier on, mate, he said, your press is unbelievable, and that's what's causing mistakes in teams. Steve was just saying he's never felt so confident, like being a Newcastle fan. He was saying that, before, what did you call it? The Stockholm effect, Steve?
The Stockholm syndrome, where literally whenever something goes wrong, you expect it to go wrong because you follow Newcastle United. That's evaporated for me now.
And he just feels more confident going to games. Like yesterday, won each with United. He never thought that they were going to go on to lose. Do you feel the same?
Nah, to be honest, I knew always going to have that instinct, really. I think we're forward line. I think obviously Harvey Barnes getting a good run in the team, and he's actually playing well, and his goal per game ratio is brilliant. So yeah, it's good to see them get the chance, and obviously what he's done with Murphy this year is unbelievable. It's fantastic.
If you look at Isak's goals, nearly 8 times out of 10, Murphy's his assister. He's actually just pulled it off, the two of them, and we touched on it before. You've scored 9 goals in the last few games, and Isak hasn't been on the score sheet That says loads when you're
Crazy,
scoring
innit?
that many goals. Aye, it's mental when everybody's chipping in. Lads, any of you's got anything to ask Chris? Well, we've got him.
For me personally, Chris, I mean, I just want to know what you think of Murphy, because Tuchel was at the game yesterday. We know he would have been there watching Dan Burn and Tino Livramento. But has Murphy done enough now, do you think, to get an England call up? Because I certainly do.
I think on his performance of late, you can't look past him. But to be honest, for me, I would rather him not. I'd rather him keep him fit, because he has been a big key player for us, to be fair. But there's no reason why you can't look past him. He's got to be in with a shout, definitely.
Who's your player of the season as well? That's the other question I would ask you, Dobey. I know we've only got a few games to go, but is it, for me, it's Tonali.
I think obviously he's been a massive part of coming back from suspension and that. He's changed the team massively, but I would definitely put Murphy up there as well. I think he's been brilliant when he's relied on, and if you look at him in the past, Eddie Howe's brought him on as a substitute, and he's actually took him off within 5-10 minutes of being on, and he just takes it. He gets the game, and he understands the club and everything. And like I say, I've definitely got to put him up there with one of our best players this season.
Cheers, Chris.
No, is it?
Save this. Sorry, I forgot to put this on before.
No, I'm on. You have to play darts here or tournaments?
Yeah.
Where are you at the casino, Chris?
I've just literally come down while Nathan and I finished their food, because he got to the final today. So I'm not waiting. I've literally just ate my food. I'm not waiting on him to eat his.
Don't blame you.
Can you see what little thing there or not, Chris?
Yeah. Cool.
Is that right? Is that true? Is that rumour true? Chris will not keep you, mate, when you're busy. What's coming up for you? What's next? Obviously, the Premier League on Thursday.
Yeah, I've got another Pro Tour tomorrow, then Premier League in Rotterdam on Thursday. So, yeah, and then I've took the week off. I've withdrew from Munich, so I can go to take the kids to Blackpool for the weekend. So I get a weekend off this time.
Good. I think you need, obviously, professionals a different level of sport, but I think you need a bit of rest. You always seem to be on a plane or in a different country, and that kind of
Your patch will be on there on Thursday again, lad.
Yeah, let us show you this though before you leave, right? Let us show you this. 2 seconds. Share screen. Where we're not this. 2 seconds. Not that. This. 56 to win it. He gone through to the semi-final. He's gone for 16s for tops. He's got 2 darted tops. Can he do it? No, not the first one. Second one. Yes, he gets it. Newcastle won, man. Deal. I hope that's not the result next weekend. Come on, he's what a boost for his confidence, that. Who's this future? Big on his top. Look at that Foreman. He was looking like this before. Look, I'll show you what he was doing right now. When the look, I wanted that camera thing that they've got. He went on the foot. Dobey, we wish you the best of luck, pal. Honestly, thank you for coming on.
Good luck, Chris.
I think we've lost him. He's a good sport. I wish him the best of luck. Like he is. I think he's knackered, Steve. I don't know if you've been watching him lately, are you?
Yes, I have, mate. I mean, he's been, he's a credit to the Northeast. It's been great credit to your area as well. But top lad as well. You know what I mean? Do out for anybody, and just great crack, and just shows the testament of him to come on a podcast and do a little bit as well. Great guy.
He is, mate. He is. He definitely is. So, Steve, your predictions. Obviously, you think you're going to get Champions League, aye?
Yeah, I mean, look, for me at the moment, this week is a big week. Manchester United, done. Palace, going to be a different affair, right? Gahey will be back for Wednesday, I would imagine. We know we're not going to have Eddie Howe Wednesday or at the weekend. The bout of pneumonia is going to keep him out. So that isn't as much of a concern when you see the way that we played yesterday. I've got faith in Tyndall, Jones, and the rest of the backroom staff. This week will tell you which European competition we're going to be playing in. I think 4 points or 6 points out of these 2 games this week, and I genuinely think Newcastle United will be playing Champions League football next season, which will be a hell of an achievement along with a cup win, because we're remaining fixtures after that. Yes, there's a couple of hard ones in there, but you would imagine that the way that the other games are going to go as well, it'll just be a case of which position we're going to finish in. Will we be third? Will we be fourth? Will we be fifth? I've seen some Newcastle fans talking about finishing second. I think it's a pipe dream. I can't see Arsenal blowing it to that degree, although we've got to play them at the back end of the season. Imagine if they have done it and Newcastle could end up sneaking second. That would be beyond your wildest dreams. But I think reality's got to hit in at some point. I think Newcastle, my prediction at the start of the season, Melly, which I have kept, and I will show it to you again. I will be putting it out on Twitter. My prediction at the start of the season, where you were the first person to comment on it underneath with 2 laughing emojis. I predicted Newcastle would win their first domestic trophy since 1955. Although I did predict the wrong cup. I said the FA Cup, and I said Newcastle would finish third in the league. My mind hasn't changed. I still think we'll finish third.
Steve, I know, but you've been saying that for the last 30 years, so it's got to come true one year, hasn't it?
That was me, but I've never put it in writing. I put it in writing underneath Jamie Carragher's tweet, because he hadn't even put Newcastle in the top 6. So for me, I didn't put Man United in the top 6, knowing that you would bite, which you duly did. You were the first person to laugh at it. But yeah, listen, I wasn't far off, mate. And I was bang on the money yesterday as well. I had a tenner on 22-1 for Tonali to get the first goal. So the drinks were on me with the lads last night. I 220 quid in yesterday. Nice little result for me at the
What score did you get for?
3-0 to Newcastle.
3-0.
I got 11. I got 11.
Deficit, mate. So you got the right deficit, right? Anyway,
I only got 11-1 for that poor Stu Penman. Had 3-1 and 5-1.
That's my luck, lad. That's my luck. Unlucky Stu. Steve, listen, I'm gonna let you shoot, mate. But thank you very much for coming on, mate. We really appreciate it. Your insight is absolutely brilliant, and your knowledge is second to none, mate.
Top man, and obviously I enjoy watching you and Gaz when you do this. And there's a few NUFC matters. I've shared this on my channel, so it was you with the NUFC matters, lad, too. Always tongue in cheek, give you a bit of stick, but they all love you, really, Melly.
It's good crack, mate. Like Steve says, he's got the NUFC matters page there, and he's got different. I don't know how you do it, to be honest, Steve. A different show every single night. And it's good crack. I mean, I'm a Man United fan, but I often pop on just to hear the crack and that, and it's always very entertaining. So pop out to NUFC matters and give Steve a follow. Thanks very much, Steve.
Good luck.
Cheers,
Thursday.
Steve.
Good luck Thursday for you, lads. As I said before, I'm only cheering Man United on Thursday for you two, lads. For anybody else, take care.
Thanks very much.
Take care, mate. Steve Rave there, giving a fantastic insight into Newcastle. He's just doing the line, you know what I mean? I think he gets it. It's nice to get different opinions on.
Of course it is. That's what football's all about, though, isn't it? It's all about opinions.
Excuse me. We're going to add somebody to the stage, but I must quickly do the adverts because people pay us, and it's nice to keep the show going, and it's nice to support local. So I'm going to add them to the stage. But then we'll hit the adverts and we'll be back within 2 minutes. So welcome to the stage, local AFC Newbiggin, who have just won promotion, I believe. Simon. Hello, Simon. How are you doing?
I'm in, mate. How are you?
Good,
man, good. Thanks for coming on.
Yes,
no problem, Gary. Happy to come on.
I don't know if you heard us backstage there, but what we're going to do is going to run the ads at 2 minutes, 20 seconds. We'll come back in. We'll get an all the crack, mate, if that's all right.
Okay, spot on.
Spot on. We'll see you in 2 minutes and 42 seconds. Cheers. If you'd like to advertise with us like these following businesses have done, then get in touch with Melly or Gary. It's only a $5 a show, and we're hitting an average, I would say, between 10 and 20,000 people per month. Support us, and we'll help support you. Melly's Carpets and Bed, 63 Station Road in Ashington. Free measures are available daily. You can call 01670 632216 or find us on Facebook. Melly's Carpets and Beds. Laying our reputation, one recommendation at a time. BA Commercials and Northeast Metals Limited, where you can get almost any used car part. The best prices is paid here for scrap vehicles and metals. They have containers to rent short and long term from just £30 per week, as well as plant hire and also commercial buildings for rent. Call during working hours on 07825 405 772. GB Glazing and Joinery Limited, based in Ashington, Northumberland, but covering the whole of the Northeast. CERTAS approved, who specialise in windows, doors, warm roofs, kitchen, conversions, and conservatories. Call Gary during working hours on 07825 160 777. A1 Fire Stopping and Drilling Services, who specialise in installation and maintenance of passive fire protection, fire stopping, and thermal installation systems. You can email your query to Martin. That's at martin.gallen@a1firestop.co.uk, or call during working hours on 07751 429 045. A1 Fire Stopping Services. Ashington Properties, whose company mission is to create high-quality homes for the local community and Northumberland, and whose company values are transparency, trust, and loyalty. You can email them at ashingtonproperties@gmail.com, or call during working hours on 07985 203 094. And last but not least, Most Cuts. You can call Lewis on 07519 07787. You can find him on Facebook, and you can also book through the Booksy app. You'll find them down in Newbiggin on Front Street, straight opposite Chisholm Bookmakers. Always look fresh when you get cut off Moz. Yes, welcome back, and thanks for holding out, Simon. Before the break there, we had Chris Dobey and Steve Rape on, giving their insights on yesterday's game, and now we've got Simon Wilson. Simon, you want to introduce yourself?
Hi, my name's Simon Wilson. I'm the manager of AFC Newbiggin. Been manager now for 13 years, and as everyone kind of knows now, we've just been promoted to the Northern League for the first time in the club's history, which is a massive achievement for the club and the town itself. You know, it's to think we're Northumberland League 6 years ago, you know, playing up against the likes of Wooler and, you know, teams up that way, to be competing in the Northern League, the FA Vars next season's, you know, it's unbelievable achievement for the lads.
Class, absolutely, man.
Are you intending staying put, or do you fancy putting a CV in Jim Ratcliffe?
Mesh would kill us if I did. No, I couldn't go anywhere else. You know, I'm Newbiggin through and through me. And John Messenger, the chairman, he just went offshore and he says put a shout out for him because he knows you two lads. Watches this.
He's a good lad, Mesh. He was actually the hardest lad in my middle school, so I used to knock a boot with him.
He was hard as
all right. Hey, honestly, with yourself, mate, you have done absolute wonders doing Newbiggin, mine. I've seen the stadium gone in, I've seen the fences gone up, the new path, and all that costs money, mate, doesn't it? It's like, it's not cheap. It costs a lot of money. So you're relying on a lot of sponsorships coming in on you from locals and businesses and stuff who want to get involved and help the community.
Oh, definitely. I mean, you know, like I say, you two guys as well. That's something that, you know, that helps itself, having sponsor boards. Years have got them. There's, you know, a lot of our businesses as well. But the higher you get up that pyramid, unfortunately, you need more and more money. And, you know, as a club, we need continued sponsorship. We need investors. And although there's only so much we can do ourselves, but, you know, we keep digging in with a lot of the building work, you know, the likes of Jeff Burt, Mesh, Barry, mucked in and done it themselves. But it's something that going forward we will be pushing a bit more to see if we can get local business especially on board.
How can local businesses actually get in touch with you to sponsor you, to see what kind of promotions, so to speak, that you've got going? Like maybe what, 250 quid for an advertising board? You can sponsor the shirts. Can you sponsor the grunt now? Is it classed as the ground?
I mean, there's loads of options. I mean, we're looking at, you know, sponsor boards. We're looking at naming the stands. We're looking at potentially the ground itself. You know, there's loads of packages, and you know, we're very approachable and contactable on social media. So, you know, whether it's the official page itself or contact myself, John Messenger, Les Bates, you know, there's always Paul Foster. There's always someone to reach out to contact. But yeah, we're always approachable. And we'll always want to have good conversations with people who want to get involved.
Excellent. I'll just touch on what you said there 2 minutes ago, Simon, and I'll let Gary get a word in a minute. You were playing in the Northumberland League 6 years ago.
Yeah. Yeah.
And now, just explain to people that might not understand, what league are you going into? So obviously, like let's go on, like you've got Man United, you've got Division 1, the Championship, Division 1. You drop down into the conference, and you've got the North and South Conference. Whereabouts on the ladder are you going to be going into there? What tier? Is it the 10th?
Yeah, so we're going into the Northern League Division 2, and basically Northumberland League is the lowest of the ladder that you can actually enter.
Mm-hmm.
So we've had to get 4 promotions to get to this stage, which, you know, wasn't our intention when we first started out, but then you build momentum, you get support behind you, you get a good squad, the backroom staff and that, and then you just want to keep progressing all the time.
Mm-hmm.
It's absolutely class though, isn't it? It's a mint story, that. It's absolutely mint.
We're not like a Blythe Town or a Newcastle Blue Star where we've got a massive big clubhouse. We've got owners with loads of money. We can't do that. So what we have to do is we have to go and scout. We have to get the best young players we can. So, I mean, the other game we had 8 of the starting 11 were under 21, and that's because we go and watch local players and try and get a good core from the local area so they buy into the club a bit more, because we can't afford to be like throwing money around like some teams do.
So do your players get paid?
No, but going into the Northern League, then realistically we couldn't expect to progress without that. Because I think pretty much every team in Northern League will be paying decent money.
Is that so? Do you know the Ashington League? Where Ashington are?
Yeah.
How many leagues are you off them now?
So we will be basically 2 divisions below Ashington. I mean, hopefully Ashington. Hopefully Ashington stay up this season. But if worst case scenario they didn't, then there'd just be 1 division between them.
That's absolutely
crazy, isn't it?
It's bonkers.
It's mint.
So, like, you know, now obviously it'll be a little bit easier to scout players because they can see, you know, like success. People will jump on board. But in the beginning, you didn't have that. How did you manage to get a good core players, good players, to come and play for little old Newbiggin?
I would go and watch Morpeth under 17s, 18s on the Wednesdays. I'd go and watch Blythe Spartans under 17s, 18s on Wednesdays. So I'd go and scout them midweek because work allowed us to do that at the time. So I would scout them, and once you get 1 or 2 of them in, you start getting a few more. And I think at one time we had probably 6 or 7 lads who played for Morpeth and Blythe academies. And then, like you say, word spreads. And when people know you're a good young side, then you become more attractive to them.
They come to you.
Yeah.
Mint. Absolutely.
It's absolutely mint.
Go on, Gary.
What I was going to say is like what you're saying. What I love the most about this is because obviously we've been in the run like Newbiggin, like we went to school there and stuff like that. And it's meant to see like he says, like the likes of Paul Foster and that, to Anna, like what Tom played for, like he's been around that club like 25 probably plus years. And it's about people like digging in, like you see, like say, and like Mick Corson and that, they all share like things on social media. It's the people of Newbiggin that make it happen, isn't it? And it's class to see. It
is, and like you say, when the people of Newbiggin know these characters and personalities. So you've got Foster every game. You've got Foster's missus. She's on the gate, so she takes the money in. We went up on Saturday. You know, there was Mick and a lot of his mates and that in the crowd as well, and you know, it's the same faces. And that's last few games we've had a load of young'uns there, and that's what we want. You know, I see different teams in Northern League have a little ultras section. And, we'd love to get that with the Newbiggin there, young lads, just get them really invested in the club and coming to every game, really making a racket and, getting that atmosphere up, because that's what we want to build the club, build the crowds, and just keep this momentum going.
Absolutely, man. It's great. Because I was talking to someone on Saturday as well, and they're like quite in with like Ashton. And I was saying to them, like, the comparison between, like, the two sort of clubs, like, at the minute, like, it looks like Newbiggin's doing it in the right way and going in the right direction. But for some reason, Ashton's not. Like, there's always players leaving, and that's the question I was asking. I was saying, like, is there something off it, like, at Ashton or something at the minute? I says, because it doesn't seem to have that buzz about it. And he says, well, you know what it is, he was at the game on Saturday. He says there was 3 substitutes. And the 4th sub was the assistant manager, who's like an aging bloke and quite like a big fella. He says it was pretty embarrassing, to be honest. He says that they couldn't even fill the subs bench.
I mean, we've been lucky, like you say, momentum's a big thing in football. And the last few games, we're having 21 lads there, and I'm having to leave 5 good players out. But because we're doing so well and the atmosphere is that good within the group, they're still turning up for training every week. They're still supporting the lads on the sideline. And I think that's a difference, because we don't have any egos within our squad. Everyone's on the same page and, battling just to get that promotion. So I think that's the difference with us at the moment. We're all pushing in the right direction.
I have to bring this up here, Simon, because I was impressed when I seen you come on. Like, does Simon live in Dubai?
Newbiggin, Dubai, see?
Newbiggin, Dubai,
That's an unbelievable setting, that, mate. Listen, Simon, we'll let you go on. We want to thank you very much for coming on, but just to remind people quickly, how do they get in touch with you if any businesses want to sponsor you and help? Because you've said you're going to have to start paying wages, etc. So you need to start making some money now. You need to have a regular income from businesses who want to help, etc. How do they do it, mate? Just quickly.
Yeah. The best way is would be social media: Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. Contact the AFC Newbiggin pages, Messenger. Contact myself, Paul Four-Star, John Messenger, Les Bates. We're all approachable. So just drop us a message, and like I say, we'll be delighted to have a chat if anyone wants to get involved.
There's your assistant in. Look up the big and says Glenn Essex.
Top man, Glenn.
He is. Some boy.
Yes.
Simon, thank you very much, pal.
All right. Cheers, lads.
All right. Cheers, Simon.
Get in, mate, and we'll get you on.
All right. Thanks a lot. See you later.
Thank you very much. Cheers, Simon.
Take care, mate. Right. Good crack. Well done to him. Northumberland League now, Gary. To that, 1 division potentially of Ashington is a massive achievement. Huge.
It is. Go on.
He's obviously put the hours in, and he's put groundwork in. He's John Messenger. I was speaking to him outside McDonald's. He says his wife was absolutely sick of him because he's just constantly there, and he's on his time off. He's doing this, he's doing that. Simon's obviously going to watch loads of games. You've got
he's got a young family now.
And it's a big commitment. And let's not forget it's voluntary.
Paid.
You know what I mean?
Paid for it,
so hats off to them. Absolutely. We'll jump back on these messages because there's been quite a few come through, and I want to read them out. Steve, these can't remember the first cup wins. They only supported Man United since 2020. Same old cracking it with Gallon. How are you, man?
Same.
Get on the chat GPT and ask them for some new lines, right? It's getting boring, Gallon. Melly Barnes, I commend you and your pals as you follow your side all over, just as I did in the 80s and 90s, but I'm sure I've never witnessed a poorer Man United team, and I cannot see where you go from here. I cannot see you getting past Leon on Thursday. Then who bails out? I have my view that your problem is not just the Glazers, but Sir Jimmy. And to end, I wish to say you're a great boss letting your lads have a paid 30-minute laughing break when I asked them if you were coming in today. I meant sure to leave it a little bit later. There was no way I was getting approached by either day. Not a chance. Gallon back in. Can you change Gaza B 2020 to Melly's babysitter, please? Mark Hathaway.
I think he's heard about Little Melvin, man.
Oh, little Melvin, right? Aye.
I was like, his father used to
help any club. Imagine an owner blowing millions or billions on players, huge contracts, and then leaving. The club stick with a massive contract that they can't really fulfill. Newcastle have done it right and are being successful. Other teams are showing you don't need to spend big. Brighton are a great model. I agree with that 100 million%.
I totally. But yeah, it just goes to show you don't need to be spending big. Look at Forest. I mean, they've sort of went under the radar. I mean, they're still sitting in third in the Premier League. Like, people think Newcastle's having a good season. Look at what Forest is doing. You know what I mean? If you think they nearly got relegated last season, you know, remember when they went and bought all them players? Did they not sign like 20 new players or something? And everyone thought they were going to end up getting relegated. And then look what's happened in the space of a season. They're sitting third in the league.
There's been some surprises this year, and I tell you what, that comment that Mark Hathaway has just made there, it's the nail on the head, because Forest have kind of took all the players that none of the other clubs wanted, apart from Gibbs White. You know, they paid good money for him. The rest, like Dan Burn, Alanga, they're all names that could have just disappeared, but they've all come together in the valley. Because you look at Sancho, you look at Lingard, they become now. Do you know what I mean? These players went to the team and they pulled it together. Do you think that they'll get? Munez just hits it wide. Still 1-0 to Bournemouth, by the way, in Monday Night Football. Bournemouth won. Fulham 0. Bournemouth are up to 8th. What was I just saying? Do you think Forest will get Champions League football?
I don't. Like, I would like to say them, but I don't. I think Villa's starting to find that little bit of form, aren't they? I mean, City and had a poor start, but you'd fancy them to kick on. I think Forest might end up dropping it, and I think the top 5 will be Liverpool, Arsenal, Newcastle, Villa, and City. That'll take the... Nah. That's just my opinion.
The fans have the same love for Howe as Man United had for Ferguson.
Some of them. It's not all of them in our group chat. Because
He's said that. Let's share the screen again. 2 seconds.
Billy, I'm just going to grab my charger for this.
You can't get your charger, lad. I'll share the screen with these lot. Because, look, I've bookmarked some tweets. Look at this. Like this post if you want Howe out. This was just in October, by the way. Does Howe have a problem with Tonali or just genuinely love Longstaff? Can't find anyone with basic football knowledge think we're better with Longstaff than Tonali. Last time, Sandro. So they've got problems. The Looney Tune. I want Mourinho. I want a new stadium. This project isn't going to get anywhere with Longstaff, Burn and Murphy getting regular minutes. Jimmy Watt. Playing the free overlapping on the wings, worked for 2 seasons, but now we've been found out and we can't break teams down because of it. And I'm seriously questioning if Eddie Howe knows how to change it. That was terrible today. And this guy even went to the extent of putting Steve Bruce and Eddie Howe together. So it hasn't been all rosy. We've got a lot of grief today, Gary, again for our flags. Man U fans have travelled far today, mind. Chesterfield and Northumberland. There we're gone.
There's a few people shared it online, like.
Oh, yes. Obviously, we announced this earlier on as well. Newcastle United can announce that Eddie Howe is recovering in hospital after being diagnosed with pneumonia. The club continues to extend its best wishes and support Eddie and his family as he continues his recovery. Get well soon, Gaffer. Yes, and we echo that. A lot of people say that Manchester United fans were leaving. The truth is, we weren't. We were very much present, weren't we?
Yes, we were.
Right till the last minute. Let's turn that off. Boom. There we go. Right. Back into the messages quickly. Murphy decision making at times, says Dave Armstrong, is the difference of him being a top player. It's the same with most players, to be fair, but without him this season, I think Isak's only on 10 goals. take away his penalties, and he's Rasmus Højlund in disguise. He's backed himself for player of the season. Good luck, Dobey. Melly, welcome to St James's Park next year to watch European football, says Pablo Davies. Mate, I think we're going to win the Oh, Jesus.
Oh.
What are you putting this, Leon? What are you putting this? I think we're going to win the Europa League and sneak into the Champions League. That's our only hope, isn't it? Here's Eddie Towers in. The determination currently to win the ball back when we lose it is exactly like Leicester doing when they won the league. 2 or 3 players teaming up and getting straight in, biting at the opposition's ankles. Get the ball back, panicking them into errors. Our team is so fast and breaking forward in numbers. It's such a pleasure to watch eventually. Even my granddad's buzzing again watching NUFC. Onwards and upwards, the tune. Up the tune. And that's why I don't mind the tune being real, because there's a lot of people we know, their granddads, their dads, they've never seen like Newcastle win. So that's why I'll never be totally bitter towards Newcastle. No. Mark Hathaway, Melly, Newcastle will get top 5. Chelsea are inconsistent. Forest could wobble. City should get top 5. And I'm saying 2 and 3rd. What do you reckon? What did he say before?
I said, look, who, me? No, I said, I think Newcastle 3rd, but I think City and Villa will be in there as well. I think Chelsea and Forest will miss it.
Yes, Johnny B. Get in the mags. E-I-E-I-E-I-O. He must have seen that online, so I don't think he's ever been to a game. Up the big end, cracking achievement, he says. John Messenger said he's going nowhere. Obviously on about Simon Wilson. Here, Melly Barnes, no poaching side for Man U. He's in a better place at Newbiggin. Well done, the biggin. Absolutely right, he is. He's sneaked back up. Brilliant. Absolutely perfect. No fun and raise. There's Younger laughing at we're there. I'm not saying no to Younger. He's fucking hard as nails. Mark Hathaway and Melly like a talking one that can achieve anything if you put effort in. Mark White has grafted to get them where they are. Also, social media has helped. True, mate. It all helps. Like when you see these businesses, football clubs, all the locals, just hit share. Takes you 2 minutes. Fill your Facebook with your friends' accounts. Exactly. And whatever, just do it. It costs out, and you're spreading positivity. Like not negativity. So just share it. Costs out. The best thing you can do for your friends and for football clubs and stuff. Can't be grassroots football. It's a bloodline for future PL players. Absolutely, that's where it all comes from, mate. Dave Armstrong, I reckon I could run a section at Newbiggin like, Dave, it's 2 minutes from you. Houston, you still probably wouldn't even gone, man. That Tate Junior's in. Man United's doing it in the right way. They have a class squad, know how to play out from the back. Oh, my God. Sing a different tune, man. Jesus, up the big end. We've read that one out. See you less at Doves. Cheers, boys. No, thank you for letting them come on. And I hope you have another successful season next year, Messenger. Messi, well done, mate. Swapping places with Bedlington Terriers next season, Glenn Essex says. That's mental. They had an investment, a millionaire came in, Bedlington Terriers. I don't know whatever happened to them. Apparently, they had done a family tree, and it came back to Bedlington Terriers. So he invested in Bedlington Terriers, but then now it's ever happened to it. Did he not do that?
No, that's the first time I've heard that. I
searched it up. I'm pretty sure I didn't dream it. Scott Cooper, do you think it's better for Amorim not to have European football next year? So he has a full week to week with the players, so United can concentrate on Premier League next season without midweek distractions, i.e. extra games, injuries, etc. And maybe try for top 4. But if it didn't have European football, I'm going on 2 family holders next year. That's for starters. It costs an absolute fortune. But I personally do think that it would be better because we're in a transition and they're not very good. And the new players that come in are going to need a bed. But then on the other hand, it's Manchester United. They need to have European football. What do you do? For me, it doesn't matter either way. I think I still want to win. I want to win the Europa League and I want to get into the Champions League. But if it didn't happen, so be it. What's your thoughts, Gary?
Same. I'm like you. I still think we've got a good chance of winning that Europa League. It's a slim chance, but we've got a chance. We're in it, aren't we? And I hope we do. I think if you're not in any European football next season, I just think like commercially and that for like a club our size, it's a massive hit, that, isn't it? Just do even for the sponsorship deals, because I didn't think they get anywhere near like that commercial, the revenues and the probably the all the money off the sponsor deals, that it'll hit them massive that if they're not. So it could knock them back even another couple of years. Do they need it? Maybe. I don't know. But I love the European night, so.
Aye. Yes, we'll know on Thursday for sure.
That's it, mate. That's it.
I took Forrest for big achievements, says Ferry. Melly, what's happening here? Nabba did Leanne fill you in last night. No, that was we're walking back to the station and it was full of Toon fans, and Melvin's walking doing the what do you call it, gone Manchester United. And that was actually the Bobby, mate. The Bobby Cloders bugger. But I tell you what, I'm going to get some hidings over the years with that kid. Like, he is lethal. Honestly. I'm not joking when I just said that. We were walking duty now when we left his. And obviously the Ashton train, it was full, mate. All Toon fans. Manchester. I'm saying, I says,
shut it.
Like, there's a time and a place. He's got no filter. Honestly.
He had mixed life yesterday, didn't he?
Oh, he had mixed life. James White, 50 million now demanding 100 million. Absolutely mental, lad. That's what spoils football. That right there spoils football. 100 million.
It does. It does. But
the players got to take it, but they can't take the responsibility of being a £100 million player. 1 out of 10 can. The rest of them just shit their pants.
Mm-hmm. But I get Forrest putting that sort of price tag on him because that's what he's worth to them.
But he's worth that to them, you know, like, it's just shocking though, it is.
No, it is.
I'm going to support the Toon from next season. Enough is it? No, I didn't. Oh, lad. I'd rather support
Newbiggin. We're going to do Newbiggin.
Hi, Newbiggin. Up the biggin, lad. Oh, well. If you buy right and get the right players with the right attitude, you can achieve anything. 100%. They didn't want Howie in the beginning. No, they didn't. You're right. Melly, of course, on social media, you get fans of our clubs, and I was wanting Howe out, just like Man U big accounts want your manager sacked. It's Monday plastic fans, no loyalty. No, that was your own fans, mate. They were Newcastle United fans. Every single one of them that I showed you. And it was, I would say, 40% of your fan base. That's what I'm saying to you. You know, like, 1 month you're king of the hill, the next month you're a feather duster. You know what I mean? Simple as that. That's the way it goes. Football, it's a results-based business. If you didn't get it, you're out. Up the mags, up the biggin. Hope yous are keeping well, lads. And you, mate. 77 means they were leaving Melly, you know that. They're the ones that didn't normally gone, mate, who just wanted to get the picture in the way and say they were there. But the real fans stayed. Keep your coat on, it's -7 tonight. Liam Chris, they complained at our flags yesterday, and I seen American Newcastle fans today on the pick, and it was great. They're just 50-50 Dave Armstrong. The comments is flying in. I can't get through them. Gary, you've had a good right laugh at Melly. He's lost the plot. Comparing Isaac to Rasmus. Top 5, in my opinion. In sharp positions, but top 5 is there, I think. Chelsea manager won't be at the club next year. He will want Europa Conference, and league position isn't his issue. Cracking show tonight, lads. Thanks very much, mate. It's been good crack. Honestly, right, I've only got 5 left. I want to get through them because I'm efficient. Mark Holloway, Melly, do you think Morum should be sacked? It's either way forward. Europe is a must for United financially, if anything. Let's come back to that, Gary, once I finish them. Let's forget. Melly, get your quotes in for carpets at the new stadium, Man U one. If you have any with clowns on, you'll make a fortune. Terry Johnson's in. Hello, Terry. Melly, could you see Bruno Fernandes leaving Man U in the summer if it goes wrong in the Europa League? I want to answer that one as well. Gibbs White problem is due to Grealish deal. Kuna is available for 60 odd. Would you take him at United, Gary and Melly?
Yes.
Yes. Same. I said our fans as well. Read it properly. Melly Barnes. Melly, can you see Bruno Fernandes leaving Man U in the summer if it goes wrong in the Europa League? I wouldn't blame him if he left. But I think he genuinely, because obviously he's Portuguese, the manager's Portuguese. They've got this connection, Terry. And I think he'll stay and he'll want to, if they're going to do it, he wants to be part of it. He's been told, obviously, like, there's going to be a massive rehaul, but he'll be the centre of it for me. But should he leave? He should, because he's a good player and he'll win. You put him in any top team and they're winning. You know, like, he's a creator. But at the minute, he's having to play right back, left back, centre back, midfield, right midfield, left, because he's literally having to do everybody's work, because they're all like, but they're just not up to it.
Or he feels like he has to. That's it. But you're totally right. Obviously there was things came out about Real Madrid and 90 million or whatever. Obviously Amram went into the presser a few weeks ago and kind of like tried to squash it straight away. It looked as if he had had a conversation. He said he's got anywhere. But like you say, if they didn't get Champions League football next season, could you blame him for leaving? He's like 29 nearly. He got to be 30 next year. Can you blame him for wanting to get to Real Madrid? I don't think they should stop him. Like, that's my honest opinion. I think they should, like, say thank you very much and give him the red carpet of Madrid and take the 90 million. That's what they should do. That's the right thing to do, but we'll see.
And I said I'll jump back onto this one. Do you think Amorim should be sacked? Is he the way forward? Europe is a must for United financially, if anything. Gary, you just touched on that. You think that we must be in some kind of European competition.
Yeah.
So we get beat on Thursday night. What's your thoughts?
I don't think he gets sacked. I didn't think he wanted. He didn't want the job until the summer, did he? I think he wanted to come in the summer, but then Radcliffe's even turned around, hasn't he? He's done interviews and he said they messed up in the summer. What they should have done is they should have sacked Ten Hag like they were Gani. But I think a lot of the fans, and they listened. He says they shouldn't have. They should have done what they'd already planned, and that was to sack Ten Hag and bring him in the summer. They didn't do it, so they ended up having a day mid-season. They've obviously had that conversation. I think that he kind of premeditated, and he's hanging them to dry, the players, in his system. That's why he's not changing his system. And everyone's giving him pelters saying, well, change your system, and he's not going to do that, though. He'd rather just take the criticism.
Ten Hag changed his system. Got sacked.
Exactly. Like, we're totally behind him. Like, didn't change the system for these because they'll just shit on you anyway. They've done it like another 4 managers in the past.
But do you think within them talks that they think that we're going to be finishing 14th or 13th and not qualifying for Europe?
No, but I imagine that he probably did say, like, that's a possibility. He did see it. Can you not remember when we won our like first few games and we were scoring goals? And he says, look, he was like, didn't get carried away, he goes, because next week when we'll play, I think it was a winnable game. I think it might have been Wolves or something. He was like, and this system, he goes, and we might get beat, and then you'll be all over us, so I'm not falling for that sort of thing. And he kind of said it would get bad before it got better. And boy, did it. But you've got to give him the summer. You've got to back him heavily in the summer, and then you question him next summer, I think.
See what Barry's put. I don't think anyone can fill Sir Alex's shoes with Man United's lads. Anyway, are they doing a Dan Burns statue? Because if they are, they'll save a fortune on bronzes. He's only got 4 fingers. We'll end on this.
Did you see?
What?
Did you see that video the other day of Dan Burn pushing the car off the?
That's why he spoke his shoulder. You not seen? Got a strap on.
Has he?
That's obviously he's not used to that.
The strap on.
Pushing. Hey, I'm ending on this one, right? Because us missing out on Champions League last season hit us financially. It's going to affect the likes of United as we both rely on the finances for the club. But I'll tell you what, right? If we're going to win the league like Ease have won the league the year after, then I'm quite happy to miss out on Champions League football this year. Because it's done you the world of good. Thank you very much, everybody, for joining us.
Cheers.
We've done now on 20 minutes. We've had the pleasure of Steve Rafe, Chris Dobey. Who was with Dobey? Who was the player?
I don't know who it was. It didn't look like
he was looking, and I didn't recognise him, and he didn't. And I think he's went. Where he went. I'm going to ask Dobey who it was. And Simon Wilson from AFC Newbiggin, who've been promoted to the, was it Northern League, did they say?
The Northern League, aye.
Yeah. Started off in the Northumberland, stuck in, put some hard work in. Now they're potentially going to be sitting one division away from Ashington. They've got new stands in down Newbiggin. They're getting a canny crowd there, and they play some absolutely mint football. So if you want to watch them, pop down, get on their social medias, and you'll see where they play at and what time you kick off. If you want to sponsor them, get in touch with John Messenger, Paul Foster, or Simon Wilson, and help the lads. But from me, thank you very much.
Thanks very much, everyone, for tuning in as always. And we'll probably see you again next week.
See you next week. Take care. Thank you.
Cheers, chaps. Ta-da.